Hello everyone, I want to look at Veithael, the new Celestial hero we just got here. So, like I just said, a Celestial hero, also an agility-based hero, and the class is going to be a tank, and the primary role is going to also be a tank. So I'm going to start with his ultimate skill here, called Warmonger. This has a passive ability to it. Veithael gains 50 energy per second if he is not being controlled, but loses 150 energy per second if he is being controlled. When using his ultimate, Veithael spends 300 energy to swing his sword, damaging nearby enemies for 340% of his attack rating. After using his ultimate, every time Veithael uses a skill, he will spend 350 energy to trigger an energy burst, damaging all enemies in front of him for 10% of his max health. Energy burst damage cannot exceed 500% of his attack rating. When Veithael's energy falls below 350, he will stop triggering energy bursts until he uses his ultimate again. Veithael will not use his ultimate while an energy burst can still be triggered. And level 2 reduces the energy consumed for triggering an energy burst to 250 points. And level 3, each time Veithael deals damage with an energy burst, the damage he receives is permanently reduced by 5%. This effect can be stacked up to a maximum reduction of 40%. So, he'll gain 50 energy per second if not being controlled, so yeah, definitely making sure that he's not up against a team that does a lot of crowd control. And Veithael will use 300 energy to swing his sword, doing quite a bit of damage here. Also, every time he uses a skill, he will use energy to trigger an energy burst, which will do even more damage. So being able to keep his energy up will be very useful. I can see him working pretty well with heroes maybe like Rowan. I can see him working with the call artifact that allows heroes to get energy. So yeah, being able to have him gain as much energy as possible will definitely be useful for him, it looks like, for this first skill at least. And looking at this skill, Brutal Backswing, this also has a passive ability to it. Veithael's max health is increased by 30% at the start of battle. His health percentage remains unchanged. When Veithael takes damage, it will reduce to his max health until it reaches its original value. And there's also an active ability here. Veithael charges forward, damaging enemies for 240% of his attack rating and knocking them back. He then returns and swings his sword, which damages enemies for 320% of his attack rating, stuns them for 1 second, and heals Veithael for 25% of his max health. For the duration of the skill, Veithael receives 40% less damage. If this skill triggers an energy burst, enemies will be stunned for 5 seconds longer. And level 2 increases charge damage to 280%. Level 3 reduces damage Veithael receives by 50% for the skill's duration. And level 4, Veithael is immune to control effects for the skill's duration. So increasing his max health, that sounds pretty good, by 30%. Also, he does even more damage. And he does damage twice here, it looks like. Also stuns the enemy for 1 second, so it has a little bit of crowd control, which is very nice, and heals him as well there, and also gives him a 40% damage reduction during the skill's duration. So yeah, there's a lot of good things happening with this skill. I really like this skill. It looks very good. And the third skill, Hear No Evil, another passive ability. If Veithael is about to be inflicted with a control effect, he negates the effect and swings his sword, damaging nearby enemies for 260% of his attack rating and interrupting their casting. For each enemy hit, Veithael is healed for 100% of his attack rating. This skill can only be triggered once every 15 seconds. If this skill triggers an energy burst, enemies hit by the energy burst permanently use 3 points of insight and 3 points of proficiency. Level 2 damage is increased to 320%. The level 3 for each enemy hit, Veithael is healed for 120% of his attack rating. And the first Engraving skill we have here, the cooldown of the skill is reduced by 12 seconds. If this skill triggers an energy burst, enemies hit by the energy burst permanently lose 6 insight points and 6 proficiency points. So he's doing even more damage here with this ability, interrupting their casting. Another thing to note here is if he's about to be, he does this if he's about to be inflicted with a control effect. So yeah, doing even more damage when you're about to be inflicted by a control effect here. And it interrupts their casting, so I'm guessing that means it stops him from being able to be controlled. That's what I'm getting from that. I don't know if that's exactly what that means, but that's what I'm getting from that. And he also gets healed here as well, getting even more healing from this skill. And then there's losing the 3 points of insight and 3 points of proficiency. Okay, let's look at the final skill. Head held high here, active. Head held high is considered a normal attack for Veithael. When used, it damages enemies in front of him 2 times for 140% of his attack rating. This skill triggers an energy burst. The energy burst deals additional damage equal to 10% of Veithael's max health. And passive, each time Veithael deals damage, he gains 1% attack rating. This stacks up to 20 times, so 20% attack rating max. And that max stacks, Veithael gains 25 physical pierce. If Veithael is being controlled, he will lose his attack rating and physical pierce buffs. Level 2 damage increased to 180%, level 3 damage is increased to 220%, and in level 4, the second engraving skill, attack rating is increased to 1.5%. And so doing even more damage here with this final skill, and if he gets an energy burst, dealing even more damage, 10% of Veithael's max health. Also gains 1% attack rating and up to 20% attack rating if it's max, and then at max he gains 25 physical pierce as well. So being able to gain some attack rating, and this attack rating with the second engraving, it only increases it by 0.5, but remember it's also, if you get it at max, increases it to 20 times here, so it's actually increasing it by quite a bit. So yeah, that 1.5% might seem not useful, but it could actually be useful if you get him up to that 20 times stack there. Okay, let's look at his signature item here. Resplendence. The signature item skill is Godly Physique. The max health bonus Veithael receives at the start of battle is increased to 50%. His health percentage remains unchanged. At plus 10, every 1% bonus to Veithael's max health increases his attack rating by 1% to a maximum of 50%. Plus 20, every 1% bonus to Veithael's max health increases his dodge by 3 points to a maximum of 150 points. And at plus 30, all allied heroes gain 100% of the attribute bonus from Godly Physique. Okay, this sounds like a very powerful signature item, gaining 50% attack rating bonus, so doing even more damage, gaining 150 dodge points max, and then at plus 30, all allied heroes gain both the attack rating buff and the dodge buff here as well. So all allied heroes being able to do a lot of damage. This sounds like a very powerful signature item. Definitely would want to get this to plus 30, in my opinion. Okay, let's look at the exclusive furniture. Boundless Potential. At the 3 of 3, when an energy burst is triggered, every 1% bonus to Veithael's max health increases the max damage of the energy burst by 2% of his attack rating. And 9 of 9, when Veithael receives excess healing, it increases his max health up to 100% of his original max health. His health percentage remains unchanged. So being able to do, looks like even more damage here with the energy burst, and also giving him even more max health here, up to 100% of his original max health, so essentially doubling his max health. That's a lot of health to gain from this 9 of 9 furniture. Okay, let's look at the Arena of Trials here. Let's see what they have here. I want to see what his skills look like and what the Arena Guardian looks like for Veithael. Okay, let's start with the wooden dummy here. I just want to see what his skills look like. And I'm going to slow this down so I can actually see here slowly what his skills look like. Already taking out 2 heroes here, just already taking out 2 heroes. And there's massive amount of damage taken there. He's moving all across the battlefield here, taking out all these enemies. Yeah, all those enemies already gone. Yeah, he doesn't look like he's really taken a lot of damage yet. I'm assuming any damage he's taken, he's pretty much kind of healed. He does have quite a bit of healing with his skills there. Yeah, overall, he's doing a lot of damage, going around and taking all these minions down. Let's go ahead and look at the Arena Guardian. And this is the real test here. It looks like they have Zulrath in this one, so I might have to do this one twice. I want to see which heroes they have for us in the Arena Guardian. Okay, I think he's gonna do pretty well in the front line since he has a lot of tanking. Let's just put. I'm thinking about just using a lot of these celestial heroes that we have, and also the Kinesian Rook here. I'm thinking about trying to take out. I might just try to take out the Mora up front here with Thalia, and let's go ahead and get some healing with Navanthi for everybody else. I know he doesn't. He doesn't need it, but I think everyone else might need it here. Let's go ahead and do this battle. Okay, I had to do that battle twice because of Zulrath, and the second time we unfortunately lost. But let's go ahead and see what he was able to do here. The time he was alive, he was able to do 1.59 million damage, which isn't bad. He died off. I think he died off pretty early there, unfortunately. But he did quite a bit of damage while he was alive, also doing some healing there as well. Yeah, his healing I think is really mainly for himself. Yeah, and his damage reduction is really mainly for himself. So he's only really doing that for himself. But that overall doesn't look terrible. He doesn't look bad at all. Yeah, can't wait to see the testing that people do for Veithael. Hey, if you made it this far into the video and haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe. And if you want to know what else is coming with patch notes 1.105, check out the video that's on screen now. And thanks for watching.